If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine, and maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them, from disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Always On Point podcast with Kristen Ambos. Today, I am excited to introduce you to Rogelio Ramirez from the Cindy Loritz Advantage Group at Coldwell Banker, right?
Yes.
Wonderful. So Rogelio comes to us today. He is a newer agent in the industry, but one that is taking the Hispanic community by storm when it comes to finding the right home for them. And he's just got a really neat background story and what brought him in. So I felt like it was super important. I've gotten the opportunity to work with him, a few times already, and he reluctantly, but did agree to do the podcast. So good afternoon. Welcome, Rogelio. How are you today?
Hi, Christine. Thank you very much for having me. I feel honored to be here.
Yes.
I've been a new agent, like 3 months in the real estate at Coldwell Banker.
Yes.
But prior to that, I've been investing in real estate, buying some properties, rental properties.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about before this. So how many investment properties do you own? If you don't mind saying.
Yeah, no, sure. I have five.
Five,
yeah.
So even though you're new to the real estate world as an agent, you're not new to the real estate world as a buyer-seller.
Exactly, yeah.
Wonderful. That's awesome. And so he is going to share some of his ins and outs with us and what that looks like. So first things first, I always want to ask, what made you decide to become an agent?
Well, like I mentioned before, like around 5 years ago, I started diving a little bit deeper into the investing in general. So I tried a little bit of stocks, cryptocurrency, and then one thing led to another.
Okay.
And then that's how I found about real estate, and I just fell in love with that and start digging more into it. And that's how I started buying my rental properties.
Yeah.
So, like I said, one thing led to another one. And then when I talk to my friends, they have a lot of questions about that. They ask me how I did it, what they need to do the same thing. So then I found the need. Like, I think me being a realtor now, I can help them with all those questions. So those are my first clients right now.
Right.
Once I become a realtor, I reach out to them, and then we're working together to help them, guide them.
Yes, guide them, which I love. And then also help them understand exactly what they're getting into, what that investment property looks like, what it's going to cost them. And I would have to guess, and I hate that there's truth to it, but protect them from predatory lenders and things like that, because that's real. I see it myself. And I hate, it's one of the things I told you, like, I've been on a little bit of a mission from the background as much as I can.
Yeah, that's great.
To help with the Hispanic community being able to be educated and understand, because it's growing in our area so much. And you and I discussed a little bit too, homeownership in general. And I was talking to Marina from NeighborWorks on this when she was on the podcast a couple weeks ago about when you have a community that has ownership in real estate, it always makes it stronger, right? The community as a whole, it always makes it stronger. And so the more people we can get into homes, or the more people that are not huge management companies, but are like you and I, who invest to give other people homes at the local level, is so important.
Yeah. A lot of people are, they being told that they can't qualify, or they, they don't know that they can afford and buy a house.
Yeah.
They're hardworking families, but they actually can. They just not getting the right information, and
Right.
that's what I'm here for, to help them guide.
And I love that. I love that. And with that being said, what is the, being a bilingual agent, being in the Hispanic community, what is the number one thing you think you see from them more often that you want to help change? Just with the overall real estate world.
Being a bilingual agent, what I'm seeing is they, like I said, families that I reach out, they are more open to me because the language barrier is not there. And so they can ask questions directly without an interpreter or a third party person. And they feel identify with me and culturally understood. So they're more open to talk to me, and
which I can understand that. I look back at it, and one of the places I would love to purchase a home, it's a goal of mine, is Cabo San Lucas area. Ooh, my husband and I have traveled from Cabo San Lucas to La Paz and just all in that Baja Peninsula, and we love the area. But one of the things that I would hope that I would have while I was down there, since I don't speak fluent Spanish, I know just enough to be dangerous and understand it, but I don't speak fluently, right? And so one of those things I would love is to make sure I had somebody who is in my corner that could speak like the language barrier on the opposite side, right?
That's one of the main things,
Yeah, and so I can understand how important that is, just to feeling confident in what you're doing and who you're working with.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding now with this people that I'm working with. And they feel happy. They can call me, text me at any time, and in their language.
Yeah.
And I understand what they mean, what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
And as a lender, I mean, I know I've talked to you about it, but we're actually, one of the things a lot of people don't know about us is our corporate is in Chula Vista, California. A highly Hispanic population. Also we have an office down in the Miami Coral Gables area. And so I would say at least 50% of our loan officers on staff are Hispanic. And we have processors who speak fluently as well. So that was one of the things I had told you, like, don't ever let that stop you, because we have people within the Point Mortgage family that could absolutely help, that are licensed and can help do that if there's ever, that language barrier. I don't want there to be. I want them to still know that we can refer them, or you can refer them to somebody that will take care of them, and that, they can speak in their comfortable language, so that their understanding is as best as it can. Because the one thing everyone should have the right to, if they want it, is purchasing a home that's theirs. I'm a firm believer that anyone who wants a home can have a home. Now, it doesn't mean they can have it today, but we can work together, right?
No, it's a process.
And it can be a process, but we can work together today. And I always say there's no credit score I won't work with. Even if it's not a qualifying credit score, now it doesn't mean we can't help get them to a credit score they need to be in order to purchase and things of that nature. But they deserve to do that in a way that they fully understand. And that's part of what the mission is from behind the scenes, and pulling out real estate agents that I know are boots on the ground with the community to make sure that they know that they have those options available, and that will make sure that they feel confident and comfortable in what they're purchasing.
Yeah, that's great. I remember that's one of the first questions that I asked him when we first met. Yeah. Do you have anybody that speaks Spanish?
Yep.
Because I know that's one of the first questions that I get from my community. Even sometimes one spouse speak English and Spanish, both language, but the other spouse doesn't. So I think it brings a lot of value that if we have a, like in my part, I can speak both languages, but in the lending part, it's great to have also.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't mind, in true disclosure, you and I have sat down with clients, and you've done a phenomenal job of just making sure that what I'm explaining to them, because the clients we just sat down with like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
she was able to speak and understand Spanish. He was a little less, could understand, but not as fluent. And then having you there with us, though, to fill in the pieces that maybe they didn't quite understand, was huge for them.
And we make sure they don't leave with any questions unanswered.
Right,
So it's
right.
very
And
important.
we took the time that they needed to understand, and now we know what we're working with, and we can establish what we need to in order for them to get that pre-approval that they're looking for.
Yeah.
And things of that nature. So that's really what it is. But sometimes that's not an option. And so then we make sure we have the option for you.
Yeah. That's great.
So that's awesome. So with that being said, I know that the language barrier can sometimes be lacking in our market in the industry. Is there anything else you see that we can help educate today to those who are listening that might be another barrier that we can help get around or help, understand the understanding of the Hispanic community, of what they need to know in order to be approved for a loan? Most of them all have great jobs, great job time. The 2 years, unless they're younger, typically not an issue that I've ever seen. Funding, not an issue. You know what I'm saying? But what would be the next hurdle that is tough for them to get over?
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
To be honest, I think we're on the right path.
Yes.
I think like this, what we just talked about, I see more in the lending part. I see more loan officers and assistants that speak Spanish.
Yep.
And on my side, I'm here to help. All they got to do is reach out. But I feel like we're on the right path. These podcasts will also help with all the technology that we have. I think it's much better than it used to be years ago.
Yeah.
And we just got to keep improving and share more information in our different languages.
Yes.
Just Spanish, I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I do, seeing where we were a couple years ago to where we are now, you're right.
Yeah.
It is leaps and bounds. It truly is. So it's great to know that it feels that way as well.
Yeah.
And because the financial literacy side is so very important.
Yeah.
And understanding that. And one of the loan programs I was talking to you about, if it's okay if we bring back up, and you've utilized it a couple times yourself, is that DSCR program. And as far as just being able to purchase as an investor, 20% down. I always say the DSCR loan, I'm an investor as well.
Okay.
And so we have Ambos Properties, and Ambos Properties owns multiple homes that we rent out to the public, and how important it is for local investors to stay in tune and not these big conglomerate, management companies taking over.
Yeah.
And knowing that you can call your landlord or landlady or, your company, your management company, and know you can get somebody over there. And that they're a real human, and it's not like BlackRock,
Yeah.
That they'll never know and never see, and they don't have empathy or a heart when it comes to it, right? Because it's just straight business.
Yeah.
And so one of those loan programs that I really am loving myself too is DSCR. And I just think it's one of those loan programs because it is, and not trying to stereotype in any kind of way, but what I truly see is a lot of Hispanic people being investors. That's their way of diversifying with owning real estate.
Yes.
And I love that. I truly love that. That's the way I diversify as well. So I really resonate with that. And being, real estate and taking part in owning real estate. And with that said, having a first or a second or a third, fourth property that they own and being able to buy it with an investment property it's the DSCR loan. And what I'm trying to say is it's a perfect combination between a commercial loan and an investment property utilizing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Yeah.
It's a private investor, right? Big investor, but it's a private investor. The house qualifies on the rents that it takes in, which have to be more than the payment of the home. It qualifies on credit score and down payment. So only those three things.
Yeah.
It's not the income of the buyers, because sometimes some people are such great, they're strategically set up. Great credit score, down payment, no problem, everything. But maybe they just don't qualify to own another home on their own income.
Yeah.
But the property itself is making income. So why would they not buy it?
Yeah.
Right? And in this case, this loan program gives them the opportunity to do so. And you found success in that as well, it sounds like.
Yeah, I utilized it a couple of times, and one thing there's and it don't have to be rented at the moment that you purchase, but they run a how you call that, a estimate on the rent,
right?
And
for the local market, absolutely.
Yeah, and they base that income. So
yeah,
it's a great tool.
Yeah,
if you want to buy a second, third,
fourth, whatever property,
whatever. Yeah, just keep going.
And this is where it's great for people who maybe can't utilize their overtime. So they don't qualify, or maybe they can't use their commissions yet for 2 years, or maybe they've been self-employed for a year and a half. But they really want to buy an investment property. And in our world, you have to be working or ownership for 2 full years. This gives those people an opportunity to purchase without being in that small box of parameters, right? And so this property, you're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Correct. Maybe that's a new word we should make up. Correct. You're right and correct all at the same time. But you have that 20% down. Commercially, you typically need 20, which is great, but it's like a 5-year adjustable interest rate.
Yeah.
On the Fannie Mae Freddie Mac side, you need like a 2 to 4 unit. You have to have 25% down in most cases, and it's based on 30-year. So investors want the 30-year fixed rate. Right?
Yeah.
But they also want the luxury of being able to close it in their LLC or their property company instead of their personal name for that added protection.
Yes.
DSCR allows you to extend it to 30 years with 20% down and close in that LLC. So it's the perfect mix of a commercial and a residential mortgage all put into one. And to break it down, DSCR stands for debt service coverage ratio. The debt service is your payment. The coverage ratio is the rent. So as long as the rent covers the payment, it qualifies. So it's really that easy. If the payment on the home is $1,000 and you can bring in $1,500 rent, that's a 1 to 5 ratio, right? Mm-hmm. 1 to 1.5. That means it's covering the payment. That's all you need. Great credit and a down payment, and you're golden. That's
great tool to have. And most of in my community, they don't know those things. So
that's where we were discussing today. I'm like, we need to get this word out on this loan program.
Yeah. It's
been around for a little while now, and it's just not nearly utilized or understood. Or I would even be willing to bet it's not that it's not understood. It's not even a thought, because people just don't know about it.
Yeah.
If they knew about it, they could understand it, they could utilize it to their benefit of purchasing that real estate and truly having it in their possession then and diversifying.
Exactly. So, a lot of misinformation out there, but all they have to do is reach out to us, and we will explain more in details.
100%. Completely agree. So now, with you having utilized that program, I have as well, but I like to hear it from other people. You utilizing that program to purchase, what did you love the most about it? What did you think was the best part of that versus any other properties you've purchased with financing?
What you just described, I used to work in American Foods Group for around 13 years, and then I decided to become a self-employed. So for people that know me and some they don't know me. I own a cleaning company too. So I was a self-employed.
Yeah.
So when I talked to a lender at that point, I didn't know you. So.
All right, fair enough. We'll forgive you, Rogelio.
Yeah. So I reached out to a lender, and he is the one that told me, because I asked, like, how can I do it if I don't have regular income?
Right.
And then he introduced me to that DSCR loan, and yeah, so they don't look at my tax records or anything, my income. They just go directly to the property, what it's gonna produce.
Right.
And at that point, I bought a property that was empty. So that's what I like to bring that out. That even if it's not rented,
Yeah.
but they run that estimate on how much it's gonna be rented. They got the tools. We got the tools to know how much it's gonna be rented,
right,
based on the market, and they use that income, like you say, with my down payment, and I can qualify for that. So
yeah.
It's a great tool to use.
Easy? Would you say it was an easy loan to do?
Yes.
Very easy,
Very
quick?
easy. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
Less paperwork.
Yes.
I don't have to submit so many.
Yeah.
Even my birth certificate and stuff. Yeah, I don't have to do any of that.
None of that. None of that.
LLC.
Yeah. And I love it too, because there's a lot of, it doesn't matter if you have no money or a ton of money.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Everybody, whenever you talk about bringing taxes up for people, it's a sore button. They don't love to share their tax returns with anybody.
Yeah.
You know, even on the lending side. And so this is one of those ways for people, especially very private people, that they could purchase without having to feel like they have to expose all of their financials to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be, there's so many reasons why. Maybe they don't want a lot, especially in our market. A lot of realtors don't want their lender to know how much money they make. It's a personal thing because we know each other on personal levels, right?
Yeah.
Like you work together in this industry, become friends. You maybe don't want me to see what you make. And I understand that. And this is a program where we can utilize that without it. Now, one thing to really hone in on is the fact that this is an investment only loan program.
Yes.
You can't you can't use it for your personal homes. That you'd have to go, back to the regular conventional FHA drawing board. But if you're looking to be an investor, it's really a great opportunity for you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Awesome. If you were to look right now, and I know I'm throwing you a little bit off curveball here, but and it's been quick, but you've been involved as an investor or as a homeowner for a while. Now adding realtor to your titling, with so much more entrepreneur in general. Like, yes. I love that you have such an entrepreneurial spirit. Like that beats at my heart here, because I love anyone who's willing to take a risk on themselves, because it's hard. It's hard, and it's hard to make that decision to do that. With all that being said, with the cleaning company and everything, what is your biggest success story to date? Like, what do you feel most proud of in where your chapter is right now? In a personal level, being a good provider for my family, seeing my baby that has everything that she needs, my wife, be able to help my parents, that's for me, in my personal level, my biggest success story. Awesome.
And in the real as a real estate agent, like I mentioned before, I just started like 3 months ago in this new title.
Yeah.
But I see and already it's in a process.
Of course.
And I see a family that I'm working with that has been told many times that they can't qualify, or they give them all these excuses. And after I talked to them and I told them, hey, let's look for different opinions. Let's do this. Let's do that. And you are gonna be part of the success story, because I feel like they're getting so close to be pre-approved, and they're so excited to get their first and dream home. They tired of being rented, so so it's in progress. But I'm enjoying this part.
Progress. And the smile on your face shows it.
Yeah.
Like, it shows the true content that you have in what you're doing. And I just feel like looking at you right now and being, for those of you who can maybe see us, but maybe only hear us, the energy that's coming off of you right now, just like pride for your community and your family and what you're doing. And y'all, he's such a hard worker. And I'm proud to be sitting here with you.
Thank you.
And honored to have the opportunity to work with you along the way. And thank you for giving me that opportunity.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, 100%. So, Rogelio, if there's anyone out there who's looking for your services, where can we find you?
They and on Facebook, I'm Rogelio Ramirez, or they can reach out to my phone number 920-609-3984 and just reach out. There's no commitment or anything.
Yeah.
Just to reach out and get information, because when I started, that's how I started. Finding out, looking for information, asking not just once, asking a lot of questions.
Right.
There's a lot of misinformation. I repeat that again. And just reach out and ask questions. And you don't have to sign anything or,
No.
Just get information. And
Just
I'll
ask
be
the
happy.
Questions. Open the door to the conversation.
Yes. I'm generally happy to share what I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I love that. Education is my number one jam when it comes to this industry, especially on the obviously on the financial side, because there is a lack of financial literacy, but just understanding what you're buying and what you're getting into in general.
Yes.
Because the housing market is a pretty neat industry to be a part of.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming today and being a part of this. I truly enjoyed it. And don't be surprised if we call you back here.
Thank you, Kristen. I enjoy it too.
Yes, thank you. And for those of you listening, we appreciate you jumping on. If you get an opportunity, we'd love for you to download us on any streaming platform you're on, whether it be Spotify or Apple Podcasts. There's so many of them out there. You can also find this video in YouTube under Kristen Ambos. But we are here. We are grateful for you. And don't keep us a secret. By all means, we really want to be shared. So share us with somebody you know and could use some extra information in what we have to help with. So again, thank you for listening to the Always On Point podcast here with Kristen Ambos. We'll see you next time.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No